Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and
This
gentlemen, ooh,
my
oh my
brain
gosh,
was about to do something totally
oh.
different. Oh, okay, all right, all right. Starting your week off with love.
I don't
I
know
love
what
the real
I
time
gotta say without
reactions.
hardly minding my business. And
Mhm.
kidding.
I was totally like brain farting when you did the ooh wee. I knew Sierra, but I was like, what is the next thing that they say? I couldn't remember.
Beat is automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh. How could you not remember that? Because I used to, that other show we used to do, I used to do that all the time.
You did. That's true. That other show was a long time ago now. Because we do so many episodes of this that it's like way down there on our YouTube channel.
That other show ended almost a year ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And this show started almost a year ago.
That's true.
We got pops and
Well,
bottles for the anniversary of Weeknights.
okay. Anyway.
Let's do it.
Oh man. All right, who are we? What is this? This is Weeknights. I said that already. I am
Numbers in your
JD.
pocket. I remember when you used to throw those things away. Why do you want to keep in touch now? Who gave you the reason
To do what?
to act so shady? Do you know you could call me anytime and leave me good? I would give it to you. That's how much I care for you.
All
Don't
right.
now never call me back now. Turn up your cell phone, girl. You know that ain't cool. I don't understand, baby. All right, we gotta move this along. Stop interrupting us, JD.
Yep. I am JD, aka he who pods, glasses on, rear view mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B. So why wouldn't you get a nice song from me at the top of the pod, at the top of the week?
2 songs.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you for coming to my show. Thank you for coming to my tiny desk.
Yep. Every 5 days a week. All cover
Anyway,
songs.
right. Oh,
All
I
cover
would kill it.
songs.
I would kill it. Invite me, tiny desk. Anyway.
Well, apparently they're declining people, but perhaps we'll speak about that another day.
Ooh, I heard about that. Yeah, we gotta talk about that. Uh-huh. Not today, but another day.
Speaking of declining people, uh, you know, I'm about to get on my soapbox, so I'm trying to figure
Oh,
out how to introduce this. But I guess let's hit them with the context first. So Tommy Richman, uh, he put out a tweet a couple weeks ago that said something to the effect of, "I'm not a hip hop artist." In which DJ Head responded, "Oh, okay, so I'm not quoting either person.
mhm,
So I'm paraphrasing for the listeners and viewers."
mhm,
And DJ Head said something like, "Oh, okay, so everybody, all the hip hop stations that are playing your record right now, they should pull the record from rotation, right? Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know." And then a day or so later, maybe it wasn't that long, but it took Tommy Richmond some time to get with his people clearly. And then he responded and said, "No, no, 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 no. Thank you for saying that, but let me make it clear. What I was trying to say was I'm a lot of things, but I'm not just a hip hop artist. I'm a singer." And a couple weeks ago when that happened, I was pissed off and I hit you and was like, I spoke to you off pod and was like, I want to curse him out on camera, on the pod. And you said, no, no, it's small fries. Don't do it. Let's wait.
right. Because
Let's
we
not
had
do it.
talked about whether he was hip hop or not.
Right. So we had a conversation off pod, and then
That
you
wasn't on the
convinced me.
pod.
No, you
Oh,
convinced me not to speak about it on the pod, and so I said, all right, we won't speak about it. I'll just say fuck him off pod. Well, oh, and I cursed real early. I don't even know if we made 5 minutes, but whatever. Sorry, YouTube.
yeah, I'll be
Anyway,
alright.
well, it has now been brought to light. I found out over the weekend that Tommy Richman and his staff, crew, label, all of the above, they have submitted to every hip hop category on the Grammys.
First of all, I love the way, like, I just want to say real quick that I love the way we've been pulling back the curtain on these award shows, because I didn't realize that, I didn't realize you had to submit to.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it on our. You mentioned that old show we used to do. On that old show, we had a whole episode where I always forget his name, Justin or Justice. He was Summer Walker's manager. I believe he still is. We did a
Right.
whole episode speaking about him. Uh, he was on a podcast speaking in depth about the process of submitting to the Grammys and
Yeah.
playing the game of the Grammys. Also, recently, after winning the Grammy Award, Killer Mike also spoke in depth about what it takes to win a Grammy, how many things you have to do, how many things you have to do for free, all these jumps and hurdles you
Yeah.
have to go through. And
Yeah.
so,
And we've also talked about Matthew Knowles. I mean, for whatever it's worth, we've also talked about Matthew Knowles and his input there. Yeah, when I say we're pulling back the curtain, I mean over the last several years, I feel like we've learned a bit more, and maybe these
you
were
got to
things
sneeze.
that, yeah,
Just go
maybe
ahead,
these were.
son. You over there like, no, because, over the last couple of years,
Maybe
we
it's
no,
going away.
no.
It's going away, but
Sorry for those listening, you couldn't see it, but Dash was over here twitching her nose like a rabbit.
oh, it's because
I'm like,
it was
dude, just
coming.
sneeze. Just sneeze, my nigga. It's all good.
I think I'm I think I'm good now, but yeah, we. I feel like in the last few years we've been pulling back the curtain a little bit more. Like I'm sure there are people who know way more about this stuff, but I do feel like over the last several years it's just become a more public conversation about, especially about the Grammys
Yeah.
and the inner workings of the Grammys via different artists kind of revealing the process that they have to go through, or their gripes with how things are done. So I just think it's interesting because I don't really think about that too much. So yes, but we have covered it many a times. You and I have covered different aspects of how the process works. So I just think it's interesting that a guy like Tommy Richman. All right, so I know you have a lot to say about this. Um,
I mean, I can be short and concise.
Well, I think you should speak your piece. The only thing that I will say before I let you go is that, and I'm sorry, I realize I cut you off, but um, I'm gonna make it quick because I know you got a lot on your mind. But what I will say is the conversation that you and I had, that apparently was off pod, but we have so many on pod conversations. I'm getting it mixed up. But the conversation we had was basically me saying, "What you mean he's hip hop?" I never, I know the songs that, did well over the last several months or whatever it's been, year or whatever. And I didn't consider it hip hop.
Right.
I just didn't. And even today, as we sit here about to dive into this, I don't consider him hip hop. And I I need people to stop using hip hop and then acting like they don't fuck with it. So
Well, okay.
so for me, I would rather him just not be hip hop. Don't claim it. Don't, but then don't submit your your TikTok songs for awards.
Yeah,
That's it. That's where I'm at with it. Like it's just kind of corny to me because it's good enough for you when your song is going viral, when like DJ had said, when the hip hop radio stations are playing you. But heaven forbid somebody actually acknowledge that that's what you came over here to do,
right.
and you don't want anything to do with it because you want to distance yourself from that. Then go.
Right.
Then go. Don't come back over here.
Yeah. So the problem is,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep saying this, and it may sound like I'm harping on it, but it creates multiple problems. And so
Mm-hmm.
the problem is today hip hop is the number one genre in the world. And I say that a lot, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And so excuse me. So what happens is you have all of these acts incorporating hip hop into their sound and into their music. And so I don't think Tommy Richman is a rapper. I don't think Tommy Richman does hip hop music. You can make a case for best melodic rap song, maybe, but that would be it. And so what happens is because there are elements of hip hop in their music, there are elements of hip hop in his music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we spoke about this before. Ariana Grande has included hip hop in her sound, huge stars.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you have someone like Tommy Richman who says, I grew up around hip hop, I grew up living hip hop, loving hip hop, and that's why it's incorporated in my sound. That sounds good on paper. But what happens is we have these acts, these artists who have hip hop incorporated into their sound and take advantage of that. And so do the labels, right? Because let me be clear, submitting to the Grammys is not just a one person decision. There's a lot that goes into it, which we kind of just said.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things you need to do to really be considered to win,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you know that when you submit to the Grammys, your team knows that, your label knows that. And now because you have to start this process of getting in good with the Grammy board and doing the things that they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. But then Tommy Richman and other acts have said, well, let's focus on Tommy Richman before I broaden it. Tommy Richman has said, yeah, I do. For a start, he said what he really meant, in my opinion, which is I'm not hip hop. Stop calling me hip hop, right? Then he cleaned it up and said, no, no, what I'm saying is I'm a lot more than hip hop. I'm also a singer. Okay, okay.
All right.
But then you go and submit all your song or songs. I'm pretty sure it's $1 Million Baby. That's what it's called, right?
$1 Million Baby, and then there was the other one.
Devil is a lie.
Devil is a lie. Yeah.
Liar, whatever. But I'm pretty sure
Right.
it's million. I'm pretty sure it's the first one that he submitted. But whatever. You go
And
and
maybe
submit
maybe
to
if it's on an out, if I don't know if he released an album, I didn't care, but I guess if it's on an album, then maybe he submitted the album as well.
probably he submitted to every hip hop category. So probably. Um, but then you go and submit to all these categories. And so my frustration is you say you're not hip hop. Then you say you're not just hip hop. I really wish they would just say, I don't fuck with y'all. Because that's the truth.
Right.
Right? That's number one. Number two is if you don't fuck with us, stop using us. Because I'm okay
Yeah.
with you not fucking with us.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
We
It
literally
actually, in
don't
my
ask y'all to
opinion,
be here. We don't ask y'all to come in. We leave the door open, but we don't actually come outside and say, "Hey, come on in," you know?
right? Yeah. And so I'm okay with them saying, hey, we don't fuck with you, right? It's like this person who's openly racist. I'm making an extreme example. I'm not saying Tommy Richman is racist for the people who's going to go in the comments and say, he called
He's
Tommy
not
Richman
racist.
racist. That's so crazy.
Is it?
Um, it's like a person who says openly they're racist, right? It's a person who comes out and says, I don't like black, Chinese, Mexicans, whoever, right? A person who does that is letting us know where they stand, and so we can say, oh, okay, you wilded out, but you were honest, and so we understand your honesty. We appreciate your honesty, and you could go over there with whoever you like. I wish that that's what people did.
You
Because
stand
if
in
you
it.
don't fuck with us, that's fine, right? And then you can just stand in the fact that you don't fuck with us. But my problem is, now broaden the conversation, which you alluded to, is that we've seen this before. We have seen acts come in through hip hop, get popular through hip hop,
Mhm.
and then slide to the left and say, "Oh yeah, nah, I'm not really. I'm
Chris,
much bigger than that. I'm much
Chris,
bigger than that. You know, I could do so much more." And I'm sick of seeing
Mhm.
this. Um, and truly,
Mhm.
I think that we need to start evaluating as a culture what it is that we're going to accept, right?
Yeah.
Because I know Tommy Richman is white and people are going to try to make this a race thing. I'm not making it a race thing. I'm making it a people thing because we have seen people do this of different shades, ethnicities,
Yeah.
cultures, and classes.
Mhm.
And so, you know, we don't have any beef with white people. We still very much love Eminem in this culture and plenty of other white folks. My problem is not about color or class. It's about the things that people do. Just want to be clear as I speak about this. You know, my problem is that, and I know I said I was going to be clear and concise. I guess I lied. Um,
We know how
my
you roll.
problem is that, well, because you're disrespecting hip hop, and that I take very offensive.
I
That
agree.
that that really fucks with me, and that's my problem. Because either you want to be down with hip hop or you don't. And my thing is, don't say I'm much more than hip hop. I'm not hip hop. And then submit to all the awards because you know it's going to boost your cachet, you know it's going to boost your brand, and you know it's going to bring in more money. Well, then what the fuck? Which one is it? Are you hip hop or are you not hip hop? Do you fuck with us or you don't
You
fuck
know?
with us?
Yeah.
Make up your mind and stop playing.
Right.
Because that's my problem, that people come in and they use us as a tool to get up in the game, and then they say, all right, cool, yeah, that little hip-hop shit was cool, but really what I wanted to do my whole life was thing A. Well, then why the fuck you ain't just do thing A? Hip-hop is not a step stool. Hip-hop is not the place that you come in and just be like, all right, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna just use this nigga right here to get to the next. No, no, no. Hip hop's not your middleman, fam. People live this, people die this, people really love this thing. And the fact that you just come in and disrespect it and smack us all around and then expect us to just be like, oh yeah, he's so great. No, fuck you. Fuck you
Yeah.
and your song that they put a lot of money into. And I'm glad that a young guy is able to come out and have smash hits. But I also know a little itty bitty bit about music and the music industry. I know that that means the label bumped a lot of money into your songs. I know that you are getting a lot of payola put out so your shit could get played. Why the fuck you think Funk Flex say your shit was trash? Then a couple days later was playing it because the nigga got paid. That's why, because to make a hit record, it takes money. So you have two hit records. There's money being put into Tommy Richman. Awesome. Also, Tommy Richman, you could just shut the fuck up. You don't need to tweet. You don't need to do press. You're already famous and your song is viral and the label did what they needed to do. All you needed to do was shut the fuck up.
Right, but that's the thing, right? When it what that and that's what I was saying, and I hope that came across correctly too, because I know you made that distinction that you're not talking about race, and I'm not talking about race either. I'm just talking about hip hop and the
Yeah.
culture and whatever that may mean. Like, sure, there are derivatives of that that connect to race, but that's not even where I was going with it. It just doesn't. It's just like just if you gonna be over there. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. But the frustration there is a frustration with coming into the space and then dipping in and dipping out because it benefited you. And I think about and this happens all the time, right? But it made me think about Ariana Grande when she did her trap music thing that she did back in the day. And while I may not have loved this, what I will say is she did turn around because she basically copied Two Chainz. She did turn around and end up making music with him. And at least to me, poured back into something that she took from, right?
Right,
So,
like Shabuzi.
right. So to me, is that is easier to stomach. I mean, they got in her ass, but that is easier to stomach than just being like, oh no, that's not me. Who, me? Like, don't act like you don't. It's like seeing somebody you've met multiple times, and then you seeing them one day, and they being like, "Who are you?"
Right.
Or "Hi, nice to meet you. What is your name?" I've met you like 10 times, and you still asking me what my name. Like, it doesn't compute. So I get
Yeah.
it.
And that's why I
It
mentioned
annoys me
Shabuzi just
too.
now in that example. That what you said is a great example, and I think Shabuzi is a great example of that because Shabuzi at no point said he was or not hip hop. As far as I know, if I'm wrong, y'all could put that in the comments. But what I do know is Shabuzi brought out Jaquan and was like, "Hey, this was the inspiration to my song. I pretty much remade a country version of this song." And people are like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh wow, I really respect that." That's it. There's a way to do it if you truly give a fuck. But when you do things like this, you're just playing in our face, as the kids say.
And hip
I don't
hop
want people to play. I don't want people to play in our face. Go ahead.
and hip hop artists do that too. Like hip hop artists will use I don't know, a sting beat and end up, and then you find out Sting is on the track. Or like, it's just that's what makes it frustrating, is that maybe every hip hop artist doesn't do it right. And that's a conversation that we can have. But there are a lot of examples of those that have, where, we might borrow from a genre because, listen, you should genre bend in music. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's been, oh, this person is on this song, we're giving credit to this person or whatever. It's very clear that we are, crossing the lines a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's this thing about, oh, I love that sound and those beats and this and that. But then, oh, hip hop? No, that's not. Well, where did you think it came from?
Right. Right.
And your label knew good and damn well.
Of course.
Especially the intern who had to fill out all that paperwork and get
Yeah.
somebody to
And I
sign
mean,
for Grammy consideration.
but
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's who your music was marketed to, and we know that. Like,
great.
stop playing around, man.
Anyway, we
It's
got more.
nonsense. We do. All right. Let's talk about your girl.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer.
Right. Keke Palmer continues to just
Work.
grind. You gotta love the grind.
He continues to be
And so it was
employed.
recently announced, right? Keke Palmer is doing something very different, something pretty fly in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here the actress, musician, podcast host, and KTV network founder, I didn't know that part, has just joined Revlon. Oh, Revlon owned natural hair care brand Cream of Nature as its first chief brand officer. In the role, Palmer will be, Palmer will, quote, be instrumental in shaping how we communicate our overall brand to the end consumer, said Chandra Coleman, head of marketing for hair and personal care brands at Revlon, adding, quote, her creative input will be invaluable as we strive to innovate and stay ahead of the market. Both the brand and Keke Palmer are from Chicago, by the way. Fun fact.
I love this. This is really exciting. Um,
So I leave this one for you.
I mean, I like Cream of Nature. I'll be honest. I've been using Cream of Nature since I was a child. It's changed a lot since the beginning, but um, I still use their argan oil spray. It's great. Um, listen.
Listening.
Keke Palmer, I think, is great too because I feel like she's someone who we see with when it comes to hair and hairstyles. I feel like she's one of the ones that we see. She doesn't stick to one thing. She's always willing to try different things. She wears her hair natural. She wears her hair straight. She's seen her in braids. I feel like I can't envision her in braids right now. So I
You
could
see
be
Keke Palmer a lot more than I do. So
So my point, I don't want to misspeak, but my point is, I feel like this. She's also super charismatic.
yes,
Of all the people that you could think of who are not actually pushing their own hair care line right now, which maybe eventually this will lead to something like that for her. But
I would think so.
there are a lot of Black women in entertainment who have hair care lines right now. So I think this is I think this is an interesting way to kind of get into that market, but not necessarily have it be like on you. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we don't need to be the one who created the company to do the thing. That's an amazing thing to do. But sometimes we need, chief brand ambassador.
Right.
So I think this is super cool. I think it's a great brand. And I'm excited for her to align yourself with a company like Revlon, and a brand like Cream of Nature. I think is really cool. And I mean, Kiki keeps the job, so I just kudos
Yes.
to her for landing this job because I feel like she's a great choice for this.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very happy for Keke Palmer. This is a dope move. Getting a paid gig from a big brand like that is a beautiful thing. I got nothing bad to say this time. The opposite of Tommy Richman. Very happy for Keke Palmer. Much respect to Keke Palmer. That lady grinds for a living.
Yeah. I mean, they call her Kiki keeps a job Palmer, so
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
and
she does.
she sure does. Well, you know who else has got a big job?
Cool.
Shine.
Yes, he does.
He's a
And
politician.
he's about to have a big doc
Yeah, so Hulu apparently is releasing a Shine documentary next
called
month.
The Honorable Shine. Comes
Yeah.
out November 18th.
How you feel about this?
I think it's ironic that the title is The Honorable Shine after Shine has been airing out Diddy uh, as of late. Um, I do think it looks really interesting. Um, I'm cool with a Shine doc. I'm very cool. It looks good. Looks like they really are going to tell the story,
Hmm.
and I'm interested in checking it out. Um, I thought the trailer looked good. Um, I am curious how recently this was filmed. I guess to watch it, I guess to find out, we got to watch it. Um, but uh, I don't know. I'm curious more than I am excited. I'm curious how in depth they're gonna go with certain things. Are the allegations gonna be brought up? What is Shine gonna say that he didn't already say in the recent press conferences?
Hmm.
Those are the things I am curious about.
This is produced by DJ Khaled. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did not.
I didn't know that. It's really
Me.
interesting. Yeah. Okay. I'm confused because the last time that was in the news was in October of 2023.
What was in the news?
There were articles about DJ Khaled being the producer of this documentary. I find it odd, though, that when I'm looking this up, it's not showing me anything new about DJ Khaled being involved. So maybe he's not involved anymore? I don't know.
Uh, I can look at IMDb and try to find out. But,
But
what do you think about the trailer?
I thought the trailer was interesting. I mean, I've never had a strong desire to find out about Shine. Um,
Okay.
I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just wasn't on my radar. Um, I think that his story is interesting, especially today, hearing some of the things that he's come out publicly to, I guess, set the record straight on. Um, he definitely has some opinions about what has gone on with Diddy. This documentary it seems like it was first announced a year ago. So perhaps we will not see so much of the Diddy stuff. Because it seems like it was already in progress before a lot of the Diddy news came out. So I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm not opposed to watching it. It wasn't, China wasn't on my radar as, the documentary that I wanted to see.
Gotcha.
I feel like that story, at least the first part of that story, has been told. And since since he's become a public figure in Belize, I feel like we see him pretty often. So I don't have like a strong desire to know so much about, like, okay, I feel like let me back up. I feel like he's told his side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the most interesting thing to me about Shine is I
Okay.
think he's living his life as a normal human being, and I think he should do that, and that's great. But as far as like wanting to know more about his life today, I don't really have like a strong desire to know too much about that. And as far as whatever happened in the past, I feel like it's asked and answered. He's been vocal about it. So
Right.
I don't really, you know, if this doc didn't exist, I wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, we need a Shine doc.
Right.
And I mean that respectfully. I don't, you know, it's not to
I
disparage
did. I did.
the
Yeah, I'm about
work
to say
that
I didn't
people
think
have
we came across
done.
that.
Yeah, and I'll probably still check it out, but it was just not on my radar, and it's not like at the top of my list of things to watch.
Got you. Okay. Actually, it did not come up on IMDb at all, which is kind of weird. So I couldn't find answers. Rock the Bell has an article about it. I read the article real quick while you were talking. It doesn't mention DJ Khaled. It did mention who the creators. It mentioned what brand this is coming out under. It's not just Hulu. It's a specific company that Disney now owns, a black led company. Um, which it looks like Issa Rae is involved in, but that ain't got shit to do with what we're talking about. That's just a whole nother side thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if DJ Khaled is still involved or not. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it came across as a disrespect towards Shine or his story. when you said it, I understood exactly what you meant. I just, like I said, I'm more curious than excited. Um,
Mm.
I mean, his story is a good story, but yeah, we kind of know the story, so
Yeah.
I don't know what else they're gonna tell us that we don't already know. Maybe some stuff from his early years, but
Mm.
I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm not against watching it, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see in a month.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, watching, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.